The Caravan Channel. Sponsored by Adrian Flux Insurance.
Hello and welcome to the Caravan Channel, the show dedicated to the touring lifestyle. I'm Alistair Clements, and in this, our fourth summer special, we're going large with a focus on twin-axle caravans. We've got a packed show ahead of us, so with that in mind, let's find out what's coming up. I'll be taking a look at the latest affordable twin-axle from Sprite, the Quattro EW, then looking back at some of our big van highlights from the past 12 months. Then we'll cross the pond to the land of the twin-axle, the good old US of A, to remind ourselves of some of the behemoths at last year's RV show in Louisville. And David Motton will tell us about an affordable heavyweight tow car, then give us some hints and tips on twin-axle tugs in his towing masterclass. For generations, Sprite has been the default choice for caravanners seeking their first tourer. But the Swift Group's entry-level range isn't simply about bargain two-berths. It's an 8 model line, and it includes a couple of twin axles too, the Quattro FB and this, the Quattro EW. Now, anyone familiar with the Sprite range will notice the big change for 2016. There's a fashionable triple window replacing the single pane unit that was there before, and always marked it out as a budget model. There are new graphics too, plus LED side marker lights. And I really like some of the little touches, such as rubber surrounds for the steady handle cutouts. Little touches perhaps, but they do give a premium feel. Under the skin, there's a new floor design with a GRP outer skin to improve longevity, while a GRP roof should help to resist dents in extreme weather. And at the back, there's a new rear panel with fixing bars for the optional bike rack. Talking of options, like most Sprites, this one is fitted with a diamond pack, which includes an Alco hitch stabiliser and a rather natty set of alloy wheels. It also features an optional panoramic sunroof, which adds to that premium feel. That sunroof, together with this large side window, make up for any loss of light from the switch to 3 front windows. I'm also delighted to see some new upholstery in here. This LED trim is pale grey and is really rather attractive. It's mated to new leaf pattern curtains, which follow this year's trend. It's also rather nice to see a classic L-shaped lounge. It takes up less space than the modern parallel lounge arrangement, and means the designers squeeze in a side dinette, a big fixed double bed and an end washroom into this van. At night, remove the table, pull out the slats, and this area makes a large double bed, supported by 3 reading lights and perfectly placed to make the most of the TV point on the adjacent sideboard. Although it's not massive by twin-axle standards, this kitchen area is perfectly practical. I particularly like the fact that a screen has been fitted to avoid over-eager kids burning their hands on the hob as they rush into the van. It's also decently equipped. There's a separate oven and grill, a 3-burner gas hob, a good-sized fridge, and thanks to the diamond pack again, a microwave on this van. There's a fair amount of worktop, but it's easily extended by dropping down this colossal worktop flap. There are also practical features, such as a vent above and lift-out carpets for the kitchen area so they can be cleaned easily. I would have liked some more targeted task lighting, however. There's just a single strip light, and on a dim evening it could be rather dull. On the opposite side there's a comfortable dinette, which can be turned into either 1 or 2 berths at night thanks to the fold-away bunk behind. There are reading lights here too, plus a curtain to give a bit of privacy at night. In fact, privacy has been considered throughout this van. If you're in the master bedroom, for example, and don't fancy socialising with the rest of the family, you can close them off by popping back up that worktop flap and pulling across a screen. And it's a very nice bedroom too. It's a little bit dark if we have a quibble because there's no roof light above, but there's a massive double bed here, and there are individual reading lights and shelves. Above you there are 2 very large overhead lockers, though only one of them has a shelf. And opposite, a massive wardrobe, plus of course the huge underbed storage area, which can be accessed from outside the van. The decent sized washroom is further evidence of truly Tetris style packaging in this van. The shower aperture is a bit narrow for someone as bulky as me, but it is lined and for 2016 features a proper track for the bifold door plus an Eco-Camel Orbit showerhead with on-off button to save water without having to wait for it to warm up each time. Otherwise, this space is roomy where it needs to be, with a couple of useful cupboards, though with only a sole blown air vent for the Truma Combi heating, it might take a while to warm up in the depths of winter. The latest round of tweaks to the Sprite mean that it's increasingly starting to feel like a mid-market van than an entry-level offering. And it's no surprise that the family-friendly Quattro EW remains a stalwart of the range. We've yet to learn the prices for the 2016 Sprites, but as long as Swift can keep them competitive, it's hard to see its position as the group's top seller changing anytime soon. Like the Swift Group, Luna Caravan sees the benefit of a twin-axle for a spacious family van. Earlier this year at the NEC, I took a look at the Quasar 646, along with a spacious and luxurious new layout from Coachman. Traditionally, twin-axle caravans have tended to be the preserve of top-spec Rangers. The reasons are pretty clear. The obvious penalties of weight and price that come with a twin-axle are less of a problem in a more expensive range. Luna has noticed, however, that more and more families are looking for more flexible, more spacious layouts, so has introduced twin-axles to its more affordable ranges, such as this, the new Quasar 646. It costs a shade under £19,000, which isn't cheap, but considering what you get for the money, it seems like pretty good value. It's also a van that's clearly designed with active families in mind. There's an external shower point and access to the underbed lockers, ideal for shoving all those muddy boots and coats. The real benefits, though, of a twin axle are far more obvious from inside. The 646 has the same layout as the single axle 586, with the obvious difference that it's simply massive inside. Headroom is slightly restricted at about 6'3", but only because I'm a big monkey. For most people it will be plenty. Up front, you've got a large lounge area which can convert into a pair of singles or a vast double bed at night. In the middle here, we've got a dinette that makes a single with a bunk above, and in the back, there's a couple of fixed berths that are ideal for kids. The lounge has a top-spec feel with its three-piece front window, and it really is huge. You can sit 6 people around here without tripping over each other. You could opt for an extra seat in place of the front chest, but I really can't see why you'd bother. One of the key areas where you'll notice the extra space from the twin axle is in the kitchen. Now normally in this kind of layout you end up with a very squeezed galley area, but not here. You've got plenty of worktop space, a nice enamelled sink here. There's a dual fuel hob with 4 burners, a separate oven and grill, and at the front here a huge amount of storage space, which is also where you'll find the freestanding table for the lounge. Talking of storage, throughout the van there's vast amounts of storage underneath the bunks, all accessed from inside the van. The bunks themselves, throughout, are really huge. These rear bunks are 5'11", and unless your kids are really tall, that should be plenty. Whereas the fixed twins at the front are a massive 6'5" long. But where do you store all your family's clothes? Well, that's catered for too. There's a good-sized hanging wardrobe here, and beneath it, there are 4 decent-sized drawers, all fitted with positive catches. And that just leaves the washroom. Surely that can't be a good size as well. But it is! Here's a corner washroom that's going to give the increasingly popular end washrooms a run for their money. It feels attractively finished in here as well. You've got this rather nice curved theme, which is part of Luna's 2015 design philosophy. There's a properly lined shower unit, which is also really large, and it's great to see the toilet on the offside, so you won't be emptying the cassette through the awning. This is a really top-spec family bathroom. The price for all of this extra space is around £1,500 more than the single-axle version, which to me doesn't sound bad. It has Truma blown air heating instead of fashionable Aldi wet system, but otherwise there's nothing else I could find on the kit list that it was missing. I might be tempted to specify Alco ATC stability control for peace of mind. And of course, because it's a Luna, it's surprisingly light. This is a twin-axle van that, even fully laden, weighs in at 1,550 kilos. That means it's something you could tow with an ordinary-sized family car. So if you thought that a twin-axle van was beyond you, maybe this one will make you think again. Coachman caravans are renowned for their fantastic build quality, and that's a feature that translates really well to a seasonal pitch van. The laser range of twin axles are a perfect example, and we're here today to look at a new 654.
It's a layout that comes straight from the motorhome world, and it's fascinating to see how it works in a caravan. You can tell that this van is set up for people who want to spend a lot of time in it. There's a really nice sink which has a built-in drainer. Although it may not initially look like there's very much food preparation space, you can use the lid to give you a bit more room. There's a very neat slimline tower fridge here, which is set at the perfect height so you don't have to bend down to get your vegetables out. The only drawback to this layout is that the lounge area is quite tight, but there's a very good reason for that, and we'll find it just through this door. So in the middle of the van, unusually, we've got the washroom. It's really surprisingly spacious in here. There's a loo on one side, shower unit on the other, which is a decent size. There's also this fantastic laundry basket. It's just huge. Moving through to the back, you'll find the inline island bed. Now, unlike a transverse bed, it means you get a window on each side. And looking at the plans before we came in here, I had a feeling it was going to feel quite pinched in the back, but that's not the case at all. This bed is 6 feet 1 inches long, which is a pretty good size. And there's a great function of having that bulkhead in front of us, which is that you can hang your telly. Not to mention loads of storage on both sides of the van. This van's really designed for couples who like a lot of luxury, but if you do have the occasional guest, these sofas turn into a decent sized double, and there's room for 4 to sit around them quite comfortably. Usefully, the table is located just in front as well. It's really great to see a bit of innovation in the seasonal pitch market, and I can't help feeling that if people can get their head around the idea of a central washroom, they're really going to like this van.
The best thing about twin-axle caravans, of course, is space. And I can't get away from the concert hall-like feel of that Luna, which makes the Quasar 646 my van of the week. We're going to take a short break now, but don't go away, because when we've come back, we've got a feast of treats from both sides of the Atlantic. See you in a few moments.
Adrian Flux Insurance, proud sponsors of the Caravan channel.